T Smalls, what it do, what it do.
What's going on, the weatherman? What's going down, man?
I am the weatherman, joined by Mr. T Smalls in the house. We have Nicole. Her other name is what they say, Small start with an N.
Tricky Nicky.
What's up?
That's what I'm talking about right there. That sounds something like a cat, man, that hand clap, brother.
right.
But it's all good. Welcome to the Let's Talk Under the Tree podcast. I am the weatherman, T Small, Tricky Nicky in the house. T Small, show her some love. Sing her a little something.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and we got Cole under the tree, y'all. You don't know what's about to go on. It's gonna be something.
Nah, y'all, I've been on my best behavior for the most part of this year.
Good.
I've been on my best behavior.
That's what's up.
One time for your mind, two times for your soul. Welcome to the Tree Podcast. I am the weatherman, Tricky Nicky in the house, T Smalls. We will be back in 33 seconds.
Kingpin Music.
Well, we hear about a topic that a lot of individuals are scared to talk about, but it goes on a lot with all races. I hear the emails, I read them, I have conversations. I think it's an epidemic, T Smalls, about that topic. Disrespectful, older generation.
Yeah.
T Smalls, me and you talked about that slightly, off and on.
Yeah.
That
damn, what is it? Do as I say and not as I do generation. That's what I call them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it is what it is. So, Miss Tricky Nicky, can I call you that tonight? We don't know what mood you in. I mean, we just check.
Tricky Nicky, Cole.
Okay, we good. From your experiences, we pretty much from the same generation. What have you seen from your friends? Because everybody say the same thing, that goes on and it's really getting worse. So from your experience, what kind of things have you experienced with that generation? Go ahead.
I think me and my friends, because I've had people that we've had these conversations before. You know, you just talking to a random friend, or they talking about something that their parents did, or somebody else in their family. I myself recently had an experience with my aunt, she's in her 70s, and I think I shared that story with you. It was we were having two of my granddaughter's birthday parties. And my son is actually sitting on one side of me, video recording as they're opening the presents. Right. And of course, they're opening for each child. So they're going back and forth, you know. And my aunt is sitting on the other side of me. And for whatever reason, she just starts saying about my grandbaby's doll that she got. And she's like, you know, oh, what an ugly baby. That's an ugly baby. Oh, that baby doll. So she just kept on. So I was like, can you please not call these people kids baby doll, you know, they child baby ugly, you know. That's they child's toy, you know. Don't. And the parent bought it, and really I was trying to intervene because my daughter-in-law is on a whole nother type of time. We talking about 24 years old, and you know how they a lot of these 24-year-olds who, was raised up by parents who didn't quite spare the rod, spoil the child, all that type of stuff. So she's been known to pop off, go to 0 to 60 real quick. So I was trying to basically step in, and calm the situation down. And I said it multiple times, and she kept saying it. So at this point, I feel like not only are you trying to mess with them, but now you antagonizing me. And I ain't the one for you to be playing with.
Right.
I ain't the one for you to be playing with. I don't care if you 8 or 80. It is what it is. Where respect is given. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
give it, you gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm asking you nicely, quit doing this. And then she was like, she kept on. Now she was like, ugly, 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 ugly. Acting like a child, basically.
That ain't
Acting
right.
like a child.
Damn.
And I basically, said, look, I'm not gonna tell you no more. Now at this point, now I done kind of raised my voice. So my mom was standing up, her and my oldest sister, and they were actually doing my other grandbaby's gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom like, look, because she heard it in my tone. My son got all this on video. Now he was trying to record his daughter gifts being open. And he got me basically having to tell a 70-plus-year-old not to talk about a 2-year-old's birthday present that she was getting. And I was like, this don't make no damn sense. And then she had the audacity to say, oh, what you gonna do? Beat me up? You ain't gonna beat up no old lady. The hell you say? Because this is the thing where they get it twisted. You telling me I ain't gonna beat up no old lady, but you got to understand, to other individuals out in the world, I'm an old lady too.
Yep.
That's correct.
I'm an old lady too.
Correct.
And I'm gonna give you the big. I don't care who you is. You gonna walk right. If I feel like this, and I ain't gonna say the C word, them little saltines.
Right.
But if you could act good, if you could act right and talk sensible and act like you got some sense in front of them saltines and them other folks, damn it, you gonna do the same thing for me and mine too. I don't care how old you is.
Yeah, I like
You
that.
ain't old and senile when you in front of them people. So don't get old and senile in front of me, because I ain't the one. I ain't the one. I'm gonna give it to you just how you give it to me. And that, people, you don't need to stoop down. Oh, baby, I can stoop down, get low, and do all that you want to do too. But you gonna act right, especially if my grandbaby's birthday party. No, I ain't the one. And that just sent me over. That's the conversation me and you had. And that's why I was like, you know what? This is something we need to address, because these old folks getting out of pocket.
From what I've observed from white folk, Chinese, Mexican, average parent 70 years old, it seems like it's that 70-year-old mark right up in there, 69, 70-ish. I don't know what it is, but I'm in several conversations about that. And from a conversation I had today, a lot of parents in that generation, they really don't know their kids. They judging you from what you did at 12 years old, so they figured they know you as an adult. But the average person, give or take, leave at 18, go to college, they really don't know their kids, because the average age, say 70, has a kid about 46, 52, 53, roundabout. So they really don't know their own kids. They're basing something, oh, I know so-and-so about you, but that happened when the kid was 13 years old, but they don't know them as an adult at all, period. So they look at, I'm speaking for everybody. So when the disrespect comes in, most people around late 40s or so and 50s, they're going to go toe to toe with their parents, because they separated when the disrespect comes. It's no longer you the parent. You're looking at your parent as an individual. If their parent is wrong, I don't think the average age span goes around and disrespects their parents. But if they're wrong, they're wrong, and that's where the problem come in at. Smalls, we did a show about this. I think it comes from slavery. You better better be quiet. But
Right.
The days of that is gone. You want to add on to that, Smalls?
Man, I said like this, man. If you in the 70+ club and you showing out like that, sit your old ass down.
Drum roll.
Yeah. Sit your old ass down and stop showing out for them people. All right. You know what I mean?
For real.
Fortunately, I have never experienced that with my grandparents or nothing like that, But I know it's some grandparents out there like that, you know what I'm saying, they got children that's in their 50s and 60s, or 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, and they can't relate to them because of the era and the culture that they grew up in. So whatever they say is supposed to be go. Whatever you say, go.
Right.
Nah, it doesn't work in this day and time.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say all of them are like that, because some they adjust to the time and say, okay, yeah, we don't live in a time where we can say what the hell we want to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just think it's sad, man, when you got a 70-year-old man talking about a 2-year-old present, man. That's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
even if you did thought about that, keep it to yourself. Don't say nothing. Just keep it to yourself. Say, you know what? Let them have the joy. Let them have the joy. Be happy. Kids gonna be happy. Let the kids, whatever. The hell with your feelings. It don't even matter, because it ain't about you.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this too. I want y'all to comment. I've seen this too from all races, because I talk to a lot of people all over, and in that era, sometimes they tell their kids to shut up, be quiet, and they don't want you to say nothing back, but they're talking to somebody on the average age, late 40s, smelling 50, or somebody in their early 50s, give or take. So therefore, when their kids are that age, you're talking to a full-grown adult.
Right.
And if you are wrong, you have to stand by for the repercussions that what's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, because like I told you, when me and you was having a discussion on, even with my father, he's in his late 60s. He's pushing on 70s.
Okay.
But it was so crazy because, like I explained to you, Leander, I literally called my father on Father's Day, had to have words with this man, and then I logged off, and then I got off the phone, and then I logged into Facebook later and saw that you all had lost your father. You know what I'm saying? And I felt bad, and I was like, I just had to, you know what I'm saying, tell this man about his ass, so to speak, and just like I have to tell him, I'm like, Daddy, and and that's nothing degrading my father on the man he is and where he come from, but I'm like, you a hick dude, older dude from the Mississippi Valley, man. You don't know none of this stuff, medical stuff, and you trying to talk to me, and you just talking down to me, like I'm a child, man. Look, I'm gonna see 50 before I see 40. Again, what I'm saying? I never see 40 again.
Yeah.
I'm looking at 50, and you talking to me. No, man, I'm grown. I got grandchildren.
Right.
One about to be starting pre-K. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a child, and you gonna come at me like the adult I am. I may be your child, but I'm not a child. That's the difference. Right. And you gon', I love and respect my parents, and I try not to, like I tell my mother, you talk to your dad, you call Frank. I'm like, man, Daddy be trying to cut my days short, because the words say, honor thy mother and father, and thy days be long upon the earth. He trying to cut my days short. This man trying to kill me.
You know what, man? That's big time. All the time. That's big time what you just said. The word in the Bible said, honor thy mother and thy father. But what happens when the mother and the father disrespects the children? Does anything happen? Is any repercussions on that?
I ain't read that word yet. Because I ain't no biblical scholar now. I know a little something here and there, but don't quote me now. You better go check behind me, because, hey, I missed several Sundays. I ain't gonna lie. But,
I know that's right.
I just be like, I be telling my mama, look, this man trying to kill. I can't be doped up with him. And then today I went over there. Well, I went day before yesterday, and I told my father, I was like, I'm come back. I went over there today. This man literally waits on me to come and cut his toenail. He's diabetic, and he won't go to the place to have him cut. Right. So I had bought these really expensive, nice heavy duty clippers. I said, because he's losing his sight because of the diabetes. I said, you don't cut. I cut, so I go over there, and he was like, I need you to cut my toenails. I said, I'll be back, Daddy. And I'm over there doing them, scraping the dead skin off his feet, all that stuff. And I'm like, this is my dad. I love him, but I have to feed him with a long-handled spoon, because he makes me he brings out that thing in me that nobody should really be seeing, let alone my parents. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I try to keep that bitch in the closet. And here he go, opening the closet door. He'll go to the closet. Where she at? Is she in there? I'm like, man, leave her alone. And here he go. So I just try to you know, like I don't go often as I used to, like back in the day, especially before I
Right.
started sailing. I used to go, me and my dad watch football together. Like I tell people, I know how to work on cars, hang sheetrock. All my father taught me all that. We were very close. But the older he got, the more disrespectful he got. You know, my sons are grown. They both into construction like him. Neither one of them want to work fun. You know, and he seemed like
Oh,
he got to carry a little attitude about that, especially toward my youngest son. And he recently done said some stuff out of his mouth toward my son. And my son don't mess with him at all. And that's a damn shame
that's a
because
shame.
these are
Wow.
my sons. I'm the only one. My sister got a daughter, but my other two siblings have no children. I got boys that do the same line of work as my father, and they don't want to be dealt up with him.
I think to me, Smalls, that her dad's turning into a beast. This is something wild in the cage. What you think, Smalls?
It might be because of the age, man. You know, you're getting older. You
I'm
know,
gonna show you.
sometimes that be the factor. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they realize, look, man, I'm getting older. I ain't getting no younger, man. You know, the clock is ticking now.
I'm gonna show you something. I think they turn her into something like this right here.
Hey, get your motherfucking hands off me, bro. Y'all niggas, matter of fact, get your ass take y'all niggas. I'm gonna make some of y'all ass bitch. Get on bullet,
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
We'll make it
See,
mad.
that ain't my daddy in the cage. That's what he be trying to turn me into the damn cage. That's
Yeah.
why I be like, man, this man here, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I'm telling you, it done got to the point to where I kind of tread lightly over there, you know, dealing with him because just certain topics, you know, we not gonna discuss. You know, it's been times, you know, like he'll have stuff to say about how my household is being run, you know, because I do, you know, y'all done had this conversation before. I got sons, I got kids here, grown kids here in my house.
Yeah, yeah.
But this the thing about it. Don't worry about what's happening over here, because I ain't coming over there asking you for shit. We got this over here. Don't worry about this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting my kids prepared now. I mean, I ain't trying to pole mouth them, but y'all see what's going on in the grocery stores and out here in the world. And I'm telling my sons, I say, hey, y'all need to go on Nick at night or something and watch the Waltons, nigga, because that's how we gonna be in a little bit. It's gonna be about 3 generations of us up in the goddamn house because food expensive,
Yeah.
mortgage is expensive, everything expensive. I'm
You
like,
said
hey,
the Waldens. God
we gonna be
damn.
like the Waltons. I said, y'all better watch Raising in the Sun. It was grandmama, daddy, mama, everybody working in the house. That's the way, you know, we may end up going back to that. You know what I'm saying? But my dad he be
Old
tripping
school.
about my sons being here, you know, just different little stuff. But I'm like, man, we ain't hurting for nothing over here. We doing good. Leave us alone.
Have
And
you
he
ever-
just, you know, I guess he want them to leave the house at 17, 18, like he did when he left Mississippi, you know, with a suitcase and a bus ticket, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm on a whole different type of time. This is a whole nother different generation, you know. Hell, I done been to Mississippi. I don't blame him for trying to get up out of there. You know, my sons ain't got no reason to leave.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, we good here. We good. We good.
Have you ever had to hang up on him just to keep the peace?
No, I've never hung up the phone on my phone. But he would do it to you. Like, you could be kind of like talking. I mean, not like we arguing, but, you know, like we're in an argument. But where you could be talking and be like, well, all right, Dad. He's like, okay, click. You know, I'm like, well, damn, I was finna say, all right, I'll talk to you tomorrow or something. I be sitting here holding the phone like,
I know that feeling.
like, what's up? But it's the older folks, man. I don't know. And I think it has something to do too with how their parents was. Like, we done talked about just the love, you know, and showing affection toward the children, and how the generations was different, you know. And I actually was hearing, I forgot who it was, but I was listening. Was it Steve Harvey or somebody was talking one morning a couple weeks ago, and he was saying how, like, you know, years ago in slavery time, like how the kids and the families was broken apart.
Right.
So the men didn't allow themselves to get attached to the woman or attached to the kids, because next month, next week, next year, they could be gone. They could be sold off to another plantation. And some of those husbands and wives couldn't even see each other unless both plantation owners agreed to it, you know. So I know that's a generational thing, but we have to stop breaking these generational curses, and we got to stop this foolishness. And I feel like a lot of people got to understand that just because you older don't necessarily make you wiser. It means you don't went through more stuff. You don't woke up, you don't saw more sunsets and more sunrises, but that don't necessarily mean that you know more than
Yes.
the people that you're talking to. And everybody deserves respect. I mean, I try to respect my grandbabies, and they age 1 through 4. I try to show them respect. If they have questions, comments, concerns, I ask them for that, you know. And I hope to be an older grandmother in my years, if the Lord bless me to see them, to where I won't be grumpy and grouchy and thinking that the world revolves around me and the sun set on my ass, because that's not how it is.
Right. And actually, it's not a Southern thing, because I had, a chance to travel all over, and the average age, like we said, hitting 70, early 70s. And you guys' opinion, from what I've observed, why are they always mad? It seems like they're always angry.
I think it's because they done got old.
Man, it's mad.
I think it's because of old age.
I'm gonna tell you, I've actually thought about this. I can only speak on my family and the things I've seen with my father and with my aunt. Like I said, I have an aunt that's having her issues. With my dad, I believe, because with him being a contractor all of those years, he made really good money. And my dad showed love through money. Now he's getting older. He's a little sicker, the diabetes. He can't see as well. He don't do as many contracts as he used to. The money isn't the same. And the people did fall away. They did fall, but they weren't real anyway. If the money is what had them, now they weren't real anyway, But I feel like he can't show the love he used to because he don't make the money. I think he was one of those type of people that money made the man instead of man made the money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's sad. It is sad. I go over there, and I see him in the house by himself, and he, I'm like, damn, he need to tidy up. And I was just thinking that today, I'm like, man, I may have to come and, try to clean up, get the house together. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, and he just seemed to like it. He seems comfortable in it, but I know nobody wants to be alone. Even if you want somebody to just stop by occasionally and visit. That's why I kind of take a few of my granddaughters when I go, and he be like, hey, they go to girls, and stuff like that. But I think they get grumpier because they're not what they used to be. But the problem was they based who they were on the material stuff they had,
Right.
not the real true spirit or the true heart of the person, And I think people accepted them by what they had to offer and not who they genuinely were.
T
But
Smalls.
my dad always been a hair raiser. He just was a hair raiser that made money.
T Smalls, we have a comment. Do you see that comment about the 68-year-old?
I see that.
Go ahead and read that. Give him a round of applause because
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know if it's he or she, but
gotta give him a round of applause. Gotta give him a round of applause for this. So here we go. I am 68 years old, and I learned many years ago that times has changed and my sons are grown and have a wife, significant other. So I had to let it go. My opinions does not always matter, so I learned to keep my mouth shut, closed until they want to hear my response. Do not complain, because we are in a different place. Now, whoever said that,
I don't know who said it.
I'm gonna give you another round of applause.
Right. Yes.
Because that's the way it should be.
Right.
Yes.
I really believe that most elder folk are like this, and it's only the very small few that are not like that. I really believe that. So, yeah, man, I love that comment. Love the comment.
I've been in some situations, I visit friends and, met their mom and dad, and, trying to get a conversation, you go back and forth with questions. So after about the third question, they get tired of talking to you. You hear this comment like, what is that? I don't know what that is.
Well, I mean, from my perspective, that means whatever the hell you saying,
right.
They don't give a shit about that.
Right.
For real.
Right.
I'm gonna just put it like that. They might not say it. They went, oh, really?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Like I really believe that.
Right.
Yeah.
What they say, T Smalls right there.
Man, they grew up in a different time. Like you said, it's hard for them to let go their glory. But you know what? We still love y'all. All our elder folks, man, to everybody has elders in their family. You know what I'm saying? when we was kids, they was like us. They was like how we are right now when we was kids. They was young, vibrant, doing their thing or whatever. But when we became grown, they had to move on the hell out the way and let us do our thing. You know what I mean? Because that's how it's supposed to go. We supposed to the generation that comes behind the generations, man, is supposed to look out for the generation that came before them. So that means the generation that came before us need to give us the same respect that we gave them when we was younger. Same thing.
Imagine with their parents and their grandparents. That was straight slave city, because
Right.
a
Right.
lot of them grew up in a house with complete silence.
Right.
Believe it or not.
So now it's a culture shock now.
It's a culture shock. So a lot of my friends, when they started learning, and they say they was around 20 or so, in my generation, I'm 52, and they're just realizing when they was around 20, 21, like, damn, they can actually talk. True story.
Right.
Right.
Like, you got a lot of people, man, that, us nowadays, we teach our kids about the birds and the bees. You know what the hell with the birds and the bees? We teach them about fucking sex. That's what we teach them about. The do's and the don'ts of sex, man. Back in the days, it might have been birds and the bees, and then we didn't even get taught that. Some of us didn't even get taught that growing up, to know what it was and, to understand the ramifications of that. You know what I'm saying? So that goes right back to say that, it was not affectionate. Like, hey, look, do as I say and not as I do. You know what I mean? It was a lot of that going on, especially in our parents' era. A lot of that, man. So now us, as when we was children back then, now we adults now. We changing the game because we want our children to know. We want our children to show affection to their children or they significant other, wives, whoever you may be with. You know what I'm saying? The game has changed, man. We no longer living in an era like that where you can't talk and you can't speak up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that's the crazy thing about it. Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
That's the thing about it. I can understand people being in a different generation, people coming from a different time and different ways of that they were brought up, different upbringing. But my thing is, why the disrespect? And then you sit there and watch the news and you get so mad when you see others disrespecting your fellow black man or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to make this about race thing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, people get all worked up. But then you're doing the same. You're disrespecting your family. You're disrespecting people in the house. You're disrespecting people that you had, if not a direct hand into their birth, but your blood connected to these people, and you're disrespecting. But like I say, when you get in front of other people, you know how to conduct yourself. And I think the only time to where an elderly person getting out of pocket is somewhat acceptable, or it's acceptable because it's when they have like dementia, Alzheimer's, or something like that. That's stuff that they mind goes back and forth. They can't. That's something out of their control. That's the only time I hear people, like I got Quita. I think, I hope she don't mind me saying it, but I think her mother is dealing with the early stages or something like that of dementia. And me and her be on the phone, and she's like, "Okay, mama, going in the house, mom." Just real patient, real kind. I've never heard her mother say anything to her, and I don't know how that dialogue goes, but on her end, she's very respectful and very patient and kind and courteous. And I feel like with her giving that kind of like sets the tone as far as how her mother probably reacts to her. But even if she does get out of pocket, she has something going on. Her mind isn't completely there. But when you have family members where their mind is there and they just feel the need to talk to you any kind of way, and they don't conduct themselves like that out in the streets, I got a serious problem with that. I got a serious problem with that. And I got zero tolerance and zero understanding.
Right. Hey, T Smalls, read this. I'm gonna comment on that, and I want y'all.
It was a lot of hush back then.
Okay, check it out. It was all races. This is not a race thing. We're not talking about race, but all races. That's the most stupidest thing that I've ever heard of. And when I got older, talking to a lot of people and everyone, and they were telling me their stories, what kind of mentality is the hush hush? Like, what? I don't know. Like, shh, be quiet.
Hey, all I can say is, hey, look, Don't say that when you around these people now.
Right.
Don't say that when you around these people now. Shh, hush.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
you talking
And you
about?
know, you had times in the past, and you know, even some people try to raise their families like this now to where children were to be seen and not heard. You had different marriages where the wife was just to be seen and not heard.
Right.
You know, so everything was like you're to be seen. You don't speak, or you know, like a lot of times, which I have this is a pet peeve of mine too, is when adults are talking and children
Yeah.
listening and ear hustling and butting into the conversation. Even now, all these years, no, I don't play that either. That ain't gonna fly either. But you know, I don't live by the hush hush, but I do believe that your day of comfort for grown folk talk. You know, right now ain't your time. You need to stay in a child's place, and you need to stay a child as long as you can, because out here in this world, they stripping innocence daily by what you see on the TV, what you hear on the radio, you know, what you're seeing in the street. You know, it's a lot of things that we're being exposed to on a daily that when we were young, you ain't never, you know, and that's not, I'm not trying, I'm gonna say this and I don't want to seem like I'm poking on, but even with sexuality, homosexuality and stuff like that, you heard of words, and you know, like I remember hearing the word bull dagger. What is that? What is a bull? Is that a bull? I thought it was an actual animal. Now, you know, you seeing the you know, female and female, male and male, you know, and all this other stuff going on. And it's the norm. You know, you going to school with kids that got two mamas or two daddies. Well, my grandchildren are. Even when I was in school, you had people that you was like, damn, that girl, she hoop a little too good. You know, she played that basketball. Look. And then years later, you see them and you're like, oh my God, she's a he now. You know, oh, that's what it was about her. You know, you just didn't know a lot of things. So a lot of the innocence is being gone, you know, being taken out of our kids. So I try to dumb a lot of stuff down as far as what my grandchildren are exposed to, but I don't run a hush hush type of deal, because I never want it to be a situation where something happens to them and they feel like they can't tell me because they're not supposed to speak.
God, dog, say it.
Yeah, right. Because I done told my kids right now, y'all going to get my commissary up, because somebody gonna see me. You know, they messing my grandkids. That's it. It ain't no more podcast.
I love that. Like, hold on, I'm gonna give you. I gotta give you a round of applause for that one.
Y'all
I love that. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what needs to be said.
Yeah, I don't do the hush hush as far as that. You know, I talk to my granddaughters and this girls, you know, which hell, it could happen to boy. I'm just skeptical about people in general around me and mine. Even when I was raising my kids, like I say, me and their father wasn't together. I didn't have Tom, Dick, and Harry up around my kids. Never did. I don't believe that with my grandchildren. I tell my son and his old lady and my daughter and her boyfriend, hey, y'all better work it out, because I don't want no other man raising my grand. I don't want nobody around them.
Right. This is true. Y'all better work it out. This is a true story right here. I won't say any names because I might get sued. But anyway, one of my family members at the time, this wasn't that long ago, I'm going to say she probably was 47. I'm just estimating. And the lady was probably close to 70. So was at a family function. The older lady said something to her, and oh my God. She turned around and basically did this right here.
Who is you?
And boy, the African angels had to calm her down because it was getting ready to be on like popcorn. The older lady thought she was talking to a child. So when I heard some African angels out there real quick.
Angels are being released right now. Angels are being dispatched right now. Hamanda Aka.
And boy, it was on and popping.
You know what? I had a great aunt of mine, one of my grandmother's younger sisters that's still alive. We were at a function at my mom's house out on the back patio. And my daughter, you know, she had I think the baby was a couple months or something. And you know how the older ladies are about the babies. Oh, y'all need to cover that baby. You know,
yeah.
And so finally, you know, y'all young girls don't listen to nothing, but I had the baby, you know, and I'm talking to my daughter about the baby and stuff like that. And I turned and I finally said, listen, I'm the grandmama here. You know, I'm big mama, you know, I don't need your hand in this. I got this. I said, I don't raise my 3 and to help them raise 3. You know, that was the third one at that time that had just been born. I'm like, we got this. We good. I don't need your input, you know, but you know, and she felt like because I wasn't jumping doing what she was saying, you know, that something that I was doing something wrong. Well, hell, what y'all was doing back in the day, putting quarters on belly buttons and all that. Man, listen, that baby gonna have a goddamn hernia on his stomach. It's gonna have the hernia, you know.
I seen that. Yeah.
You know, like come
Quarters
on
on
now.
belly buttons.
Yeah,
Boy.
that's
You
true.
know,
That's true.
I done cut the brown paper bag and put it on the forehead. Listen, man. Listen, Linda. I get it. Spirituals and, you
Get
know,
vinegar
old
on it.
concoction and potions and lotions. Hey, a lot of that stuff was good, but that don't necessarily mean that was the only way. And
Right.
don't come at me like I'm a child. I'm grown. These are my grandchildren here.
Right.
I'm not a child. Last time I talked to anybody, I was well long grown. Old enough to have been
No,
to
that's
serve my
right.
country and do everything else I had to do in the world. So no, I'm good.
He
I don't
said
need you. I
brown
don't need you,
paper
old lady.
bag on forehead.
Yeah,
Boy,
that's
that's
true.
old school there.
Yeah, Brian, you had did you have a piece on your forehead?
Hey, for real. Everybody who done grew up in the southern region of this United States of America done had the brown paper bag. And we talking about the little square on your forehead. And you might have a little bit of vinegar on there too.
Yeah.
I think the craziest one was it the chicken pox or something? You're supposed to go in the chicken coop, let the chicken fly off your head. I say chickens don't even fly. Help the chicken on what? Come on, man. Come on.
This is
Times
my
done changed.
hey, Smalls and Cole. This is my personality, straight up. I don't go around disrespecting no people or nothing like that. But I tell you what, if they come for me and I do that, when I do that check down list, I'm gonna find that if they are completely wrong, stand by. It don't matter who you is.
Yeah.
Only if you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We gonna go toe to toe like we equal.
You gotta tell it, man. You gotta tell it. You gotta tell it, man. You gotta let your parents know. You know, all of us on this panel tonight, man, have had to let their parents know that you are grown. We grown.
Yeah.
Do y'all think it ever change?
Do I think it will ever change?
Yeah, I think I know what you're gonna say.
No, because I feel like every day they're getting deeper and deeper. What they say, if you do something for 21 days, it becomes habit.
It's a habit. Yeah. It's a habit.
21 days, they about 21 years into this shit. I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
You know, you're not gonna change them. But like my aunt, after that, my cousin, matter of fact, today, like I told y'all, we was at my parents' house earlier in the pool and stuff because my other grandbaby turned 3 today. And her daughter was like, hey, you going to auntie house for the little party? And she was like, yeah. And her daughter was like, you gonna act right? You know how to talk? You know how to handle yourself? And she was like, I don't know. You know, she didn't know if she was gonna say something out of the way. And my cousin didn't even show up because she didn't want to be there and embarrassed by her mother. You know, and that's a shame. That's a shame.
I'm gonna show up.
That's a shame. My cousin didn't even show up because the last time we had something at my parents' house, that's when my aunt said something about the baby doll, you know.
Yeah.
But she was on, I guess she could tell, because see, I've always been the one that, I don't want to say I was everybody's favorite, but they was, you know, my family, they got their little pet name for me, and everybody just, hey, they go my girl, they go Nicole, they go this.
You was the peacemaker,
Yeah. And so my family just, you know, kind of, you know, they gyrate toward me, you know, and so it was like after that incident with the baby doll with my granddaughter, I've been kind of like distant with her. You know, she knows I'm still pissed.
Right.
And you know, I don't necessarily go around saying, you know, cutting her off or saying, giving her looks or nothing like that. But I'm not as warm and fuzzy, so to speak, as I was to her before. So she know, but you gotta know who you dealing with and who to play with. And I ain't the one for you to play with. Not when it come to mine. Like I tell people all the time, it's certain I have my moments to where I play with my grandchildren. I'm not no play person all the time like that. When I said something, I think about the second time, she should have been able to tell by my facial expressions and how I spoke that I was for real. Don't do that.
Yes.
And you kept trying it. So now I felt like you trying to antagonize me. And
Hey, Smalls, we got to hire her about $200 to set some of our people straight. What you gonna do?
Hey, man.
We gonna hire.
It's called a private consultant.
Yeah.
Look, everybody ain't gonna hear what the hell you got to say inside this private and consulting room. It might be something you like to hear. It might be something you might be fucked up about, but
I'm gonna tell you like this: checking your family members It's just like pouring your own, fixing your own drink. You got to pour your own poison. You gotta deal with your own people. You got to fight them on your own because,
Right.
they may come back to you and be
You
like,
got
"Who the
to.
hell
You
was
got
that?"
to. You got to check
Yeah,
your own people sometime,
but
man.
you know what? I feel like this. Sometimes you got to check that at the door. You know what I'm saying? That was my aunt first time really rubbing me that way. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
had to check it right then. We're not even finna let this go on no further. I'm not even finna let you get in that comfortable place to where you feel like you can keep
Right.
trying me like
And I was just
that.
about
That
to
ain't
say
finna
that.
happen.
Now I got comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna check that at the door. And that's how I had to do with my dad. You know, like I said, me and him was going back and forth about health things and about my kids, my sons and stuff like that. And just like I had to tell him, man, what you want? You know, my son's not felons. They don't have no records. You know, they hardworking men doing construction work. They ain't not selling dope. They ain't not robbing people. What you want? Like, what you really want? So I don't let it slide. You know, if you say something not the way to me, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Hey, let me bring this point up. Back to the secrets. A lot of the older generation, say that same age, I'm going to say 69 to early 70s, they think it's disrespectful. You might, hear some of them say like, "Oh, so and so don't check on me," or "So and so don't call." But on the flip side of that, when these kids grow up, you never talk to them. They had to be quiet, so they don't even know your ass. And the average kid leave home. The average kid leave home, give or take. So who the hell are they talking to as a parent? A complete stranger, because they
Right.
don't know you at all.
Agreed.
And I thought it was an African American problem, but that's all races go through the same thing.
They
So
do.
you have this young adult, you raise them, and another thing that goes on. I'm speaking for everybody. A plate of food don't raise no child. You have to.
True.
It's the teachings. That's what they're
Right.
going to remember. They're not going to remember a chili hot dog. It's the
Yeah.
communication, and that's what it is. So they feel that way, and that has to change also. What you say, Small?
Yeah, man. And you know what? It is changed because now that we getting older, man, we are beginning to be the grandparents now. You know what I'm saying? We are beginning to be the old grandparents of the old days, man. Is nothing like the grandparents of today. The grandparents of today is actually more involved. You know what I'm saying? Some of them, they don't even want to be called grandparents. They want to be called glam parents because they don't believe that into that. They not, and when you hear that, they're not feeding into the old ways of being grandparents. And when you hear that, I just want to let y'all know that it's not because they trying to be young or nothing like that. They just not buying into the old ways of being grandparents. You know, the grandparents of today are being more involved in their grandchildren as if it was their own kids, which is supposed to have been like that for generations before us, but it wasn't like that up until now. So with that being said, man, the change is here. The only problem with the change is the old school trying to impose that same ways that they grew up on the new grandparents of today. That's the only change that's not happening in some places, I should say.
Yeah.
But I think our generation is embracing being grandparents. You know what I mean? Not all of us are grandparents. You know what I mean? I'm not a grandparent yet, though I got grown kids. But you know what I'm saying? As time go on, we are more, this generation of us, man, are more embracing this because, and then I think it's a fact of just like what you said, Weatherman, that the way that we grew up back in the days, we didn't have this. So guess what? We want to do better than what we did back 20, 30 years ago. We want to show the younger crowd, the younger kids, the children that look, you don't have to be just say, hey, that's my granddaddy or my grandmama, and just don't know them, and that's it. Because a lot of us right now today still like that to this day. Just know that, hey, that's your grandmama and that's your granddaddy, and that's it.
Hey, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
that's
for
it.
sure.
You know,
For sure.
so to be involved with what we got going on today, I think that's a great change. That's a very good change. It's just that now we got the older 60 plus crew has to recognize that, look, this ain't the same time that you've been living in, man. You know what I mean? It ain't. We don't live like that no more.
What they say right there.
Check that
Listen,
at the door. Say, listen, check their ass at the door because we expect you to do this
Hey,
anyway.
check their IDs at the door.
Hey, Smalls, what they say right there.
Maybe they feeling guilty or something. Some of them may be feeling guilty. You know what I mean? Some of them may, you know, it was a lot of grandparents that had bad parenting. You know what I mean? But they get a pass on that because the times wasn't what it was like how it is today. They got a pass. So yeah, that could be true. That could be true.
Yeah.
But you know what? I wonder sometimes too, like at what point do you, I know you can't unlearn something, but you can make a active and conscious decision to change something that's not right. But a lot of times you will find that in their mind, they think they right.
Yeah, they ain't changing.
Right.
Most they ain't changing the damn
well,
thing.
Well, I
Most
say
of
it like this, man. When President Barack Obama, man, became president, he was running. That's what his campaign slogan was: change.
Right.
And everybody was willing to change. Well, why is you willing to change on a national scale, but you ain't willing to change with your family?
With your family, exactly. Exactly.
I'm gonna give you a suggestion. When you go back, back around your pops, say, Dad, I'm gonna cook you something. And just cook him as one of his favorite meals. I'm assuming some seafood. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I didn't even say nothing.
Nah, I know you talking about the crabs, but my dad, I think he like fish or something like that. But with him being diabetic, it's real. Like matter of fact, today was the first time ever I just had to put that thing in his arm that you have to put the monitor up to it or whatever. Man, I was shaking like a stripper. And I had to do stuff. I had to give myself like IV bag, banana bag treatments and stuff through my IV in my arm and stuff like that. But just with my dad, and it seemed like today he just seemed so fragile to me. And I was like, man, it's like when I was doing his feet and putting that thing in his arm and stuff, a lot of that stuff, that animosity and stuff kind of melted away. I was like, this is my dad, man. He needs me. He needs me to be there and checking up on him. But I'm like, man, I just don't be wanting to hear that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, because he gonna make me, that Gemini come out. See, I be there, the angel be there, and she be doing good and doing feet and stuff. Then he say something, and they go that devil, and here she go. And now, now the Lord up there just checking off days. Like, there you go, Nicole.
Sound like your pops know how to push your buttons real well.
Yeah, I think so.
He does. He does. One of the few men that does. One of the few men that does is my dad. He know my soft spot is my children, is my family and stuff like that. And I don't like ignorance. I don't like ignorance. I don't like people who are unwilling to learn something new. And I'm trying to explain something to you. And I mean, all the shit you done taught me, drywall, cutting sheetrock, how to hang it, and working on cars, brakes, and all. Like I say, my dad taught me all that stuff. I was open and willing to learn, but you're not willing to do the same thing when I got something, when my 46-year-old self got something to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Great point.
T Small spelled your pain, and he sung a special song for your daddy. I'm not going to play all that because I don't know what the heck he's saying. Technically, I think it's 40-second clip. I'm only going to play about 12 or 13 seconds, but this is for your daddy.
It makes no difference what you're going through. God's gonna make it. God's gonna pull you through.
That's enough right there.
Lord.
So get ready
for your
blessing.
Lord, if you weren't singing that song, I would have thought that was a Hennessy night.
You know what? That's kind of about right. Singing with the Hennessy.
Hey, look, man. Hey, they say when you you drinking a little adult beverage, man, you be in the spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you was in the spirit. T Smalls. I enjoyed myself. Tricky Nicky, Coley Cole. I actually enjoyed myself.
All right.
Smalls, pray for the family. Hope you ain't drinking. Hope you're sober, like she said. Don't be on no Hennessy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a little water up in here today. You know what I mean?
Okay, good, man.
Thank you, God, for this fellowshipping tonight. Continue to bless Coley Cole. with a family and, help them make a transition to understand the younger adult grandmas and grandpas and, children. As we go off tonight, man, everybody be safe. Thank y'all for watching us. We pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
You did pretty good on that one, man.
Look, man, I was not trying to, how you be complaining. I be taking too long. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Sunday dinner and you ready to eat.
TD Jakes, that's what you be praying long.
Yeah, Shouts out to TD Jakes, by the way. I love TD Jakes.
Hey, Miss Coley Cole, we enjoyed you as usual. I know you
All
want to bring it real, of course, as always.
All the time.
You scared the hell out of us because sometimes you raw. Tonight wasn't too bad. You was all right today.
Hey,
yeah, I told y'all. I'm like hovering on a different frequency. I'm vibing on a whole nother type.
Hey,
of frequency.
look, man. Them little cliches, boy. That did it for me. The brown paper bag on the forehead.
Yeah.
Shaking like a stripper. Oh boy. What those cliches be getting me, boy. What had me shaking like a stripper.
I was shaking like a stripper trying to put that thing in his arm. Lord have mercy, I was so nervous.
Right. But we appreciate you. I appreciate you. Everybody appreciates you. I appreciate you, T Smalls. And this is the Let's Talk the Tree podcast. I am the weatherman. T Smalls out. Coley Cole out. T Smalls, 30 seconds. What you got? Give me 30 seconds. What you got in closing?
All I want to say is I do appreciate all the people out there, and let's talk under the tree land group, for supporting us this far, man. We really trying hard. Tell your friends, and friends. You can tell the old folks too. They ain't got to be young. They can be grown too, grown to grown. Good. But thank y'all for supporting us, man. Thank y'all, man, for supporting us this far.
First time you ever did it in 30 seconds. Coley Cole, what you got? 30.
I just got something to say, like just talking to everybody, no matter if you're young, old, in between, or whatever. We all need to start learning to listen to each other and work with each other, because at the end of the day, we can't do it without each other. So we all got to be on one accord and just get this thing together, man, because it's getting harder, and it's going to get harder before it get easier. That's for sure.
All right. What I got, y'all be blessed. Have a safe week with all the rain. Put your seatbelt on. Don't try to go fast in the puddles.
Yes.
I'm out of here. One time for your mind. T Smalls, what they say.
2 times for your soul.
I am the weatherman. This is the Tree. T Smalls. Coley Cole. We out of here. Peace and blessings. See y'all later.
All right.
Kingpin Music.